Imagine a world without writing, phones, or even printed maps. How did humans survive then? During a prehistoric hunt, danger approaches unseen through a shroud of thick fog. The hunter sees it first. Speaking loudly would alert the animals, exposing the group. How did Ice Age humans share such critical information, before writing even existed? For our ancestors, communication was not just about sharing ideas, it was survival. Coordinating hunts required precise signals to encircle prey and avoid injury. Gathering edible plants and knowing where they grew safely was equally vital for the group. Childcare relied on clear understanding of roles and shared protective instincts. Maintaining fire, a source of warmth and protection, needed careful instruction. Journeys across challenging terrain demanded clear directions and shared knowledge of routes. Food sharing, a pillar of group cohesion, required unspoken and spoken agreements. Building shelter against harsh elements was a cooperative effort, needing coordination. Resolving conflict within the group or with outsiders called for delicate communication. Warnings of impending weather, like a severe storm, could save lives and resources. Caring for the injured required clear, empathetic signals to provide comfort and aid. Encounters with strangers demanded careful assessment and nonverbal diplomacy. A misunderstood signal could separate travelers, leading to dangerous isolation. Poor communication might waste precious food resources, risking starvation for the group. Or expose the entire group to unforeseen perils, from animals or other groups. How much could your group accomplish if nobody understood the same signals? Spoken language, though fundamental, leaves virtually no direct archaeological trace. Researchers study indirect clues, such as the vocal anatomy of ancient human remains. Evidence also includes their hearing abilities, which can indicate sensitivity to speech frequencies. The organization of the brain offers insights into their cognitive capacity for language. Highly complex social structures strongly suggest a need for sophisticated communication. The intricate learning required for making tools points to advanced teaching through speech. Cooperation on large tasks, like moving heavy objects, implies coordinated planning. Symbolic behaviors, such as creating art, also provide powerful indirect evidence. Both early humans and Neanderthals likely possessed some form of speech capabilities. We cannot know their exact vocabulary, the specific words they used or coined. Nor can we reproduce their grammar, how they structured sentences or phrases. Their accents, the distinct regional pronunciations, are entirely beyond our grasp today. The precise quality of their voices, the timbre and tone, also remains a mystery. We cannot pinpoint the very first spoken word, the true origin of language itself. It's highly unlikely there was one universal prehistoric language spoken by everyone. Complex cooperation almost certainly required flexible and nuanced communication methods. Speech may have expressed concrete concepts, like specific objects found in their world. It likely conveyed actions too: hunting, running, building, gathering, and more tasks. Speech connected memories, intentions, and even possibilities to the present moment. Prehistoric speech was probably far more sophisticated than simple grunts or growls. Beyond words, gestures and body language conveyed intricate messages silently. The direction of one's eyes could draw immediate attention to a crucial detail. Raised hands might signal peace, surrender, or a command to halt movement. A crouched posture could indicate stealth, submission, or immediate danger nearby. Specific warning gestures could instantly alert companions to unseen threats. Facial tension might communicate fear, concentration, or deep thought without words. Touch, a direct and intimate form of communication, offered comfort or warning. The physical distance maintained between people spoke volumes about their relationship. The direction of movement, swift or cautious, could convey intent to the group. During a silent hunt, one hunter makes a distinct gesture meaning stop. Another gesture might mean move cautiously through the undergrowth ahead. A subtle head tilt or eye movement directs attention to a crucial detail, like tracks. These nonverbal cues work only when the entire group shares common expectations. If no one taught you the meaning, a warning gesture is just a movement, not a message. Would you understand a warning if nobody had taught you what the gesture meant? Shared understanding is the bedrock of nonverbal communication in any group. Without this common ground, complex cooperative actions would be nearly impossible to achieve. How did Ice Age groups communicate over vast distances, beyond the range of sight? Loud, distinct calls might have carried messages across open territories or valleys. Repeated sounds, distinctive and recognizable, served as distant alerts or signals. Stone tapping, creating unique rhythms, could be heard over short to medium ranges. Similarly, wood striking might generate sounds that carry well through forest canopies. More complex rhythmic patterns could potentially encode more detailed information. Firelight, visible against a dark sky, served as a beacon for distant travelers. Smoke signals, rising into the air, could be seen across wide, open grasslands. Visible movement, like waving from a hilltop, might communicate presence or warning. Temporary trail markers, like stacked stones or broken branches, guided group members. These were possibilities, not a single, universal signaling code used by everyone. Distance, wind, and terrain profoundly affected which signals were most useful at times. A distinct sound could effectively reach through the dense, echoing forest. Smoke, however, might be clearly visible across vast, open stretches of land. A flickering fire could guide weary travelers to safety after the sun had set. Stories served as living repositories of human memory, preserving vital information. Tales warned of dangerous animals, sharing insights into their habits and weaknesses. Stories guided groups to safe water sources, essential for survival in dry seasons. They preserved knowledge of seasonal movements, critical for following migrating game. Family history, lineage, and ancestral stories were passed down orally for generations. Stories recalled old injuries, sharing experiences of healing and vulnerability. Successful hunts, with their strategies and triumphs, became enduring tales. Conversely, failed decisions and their consequences taught valuable lessons. Weather patterns, their signs and severity, were embedded within cautionary narratives. Optimal routes for travel, foraging, and hunting were memorized through stories. Social rules and customs, vital for group harmony, were passed on through compelling tales. Stories connected information with characters, emotion, and meaningful consequences. This made knowledge easier to remember and more impactful than a mere list. A story about a flooded river functions both as entertainment and a dire warning. Not every story was a perfectly accurate historical record, elements could shift. Oral knowledge, transmitted through generations, can naturally change with each retelling. Stories connect us emotionally, making facts much more memorable and vivid. What would you remember longer, a list of abstract rules, or a vivid story? A captivating story about one crucial mistake can be far more impactful than rules. Stories are powerful teaching tools, encoding wisdom into memorable, human experiences. Archaeological clues like cave paintings offer windows into ancient symbolic thought. Engraved lines on bones or stones could be symbolic, decorative, or both at once. Handprints, often found in caves, may represent a form of identity or presence. The use of pigments, like ochre, suggests self-expression and ritualistic practices. Beads and pendants served as personal ornaments, carrying individual or group meaning. Pendants might signify status, group affiliation, or a personal protective charm. Even tools were sometimes decorated, adding symbolic value to practical objects. Repeated geometric marks suggest a system of shared symbols or patterns. These objects may have communicated identity, who someone was within their group, or signified group membership, connecting individuals to a larger community. Symbols could also evoke memories, linking present experiences to past events. High status might be conveyed through specific ornaments or body decorations. Some symbols might represent belief systems, connecting people to the spiritual world. Personal attachments to objects, like charms or tools, were often imbued with meaning. Shared traditions, passed down through generations, were often expressed symbolically. Some symbolic information's original meaning is now completely lost to us. A repeated pattern may be meaningful, purely decorative, or even practical, simultaneously. The presence of symbolic objects reveals meaning was conveyed, not always the exact message. Communication became more challenging when unfamiliar groups first encountered each other. Differences in spoken language, naturally, formed a significant barrier between groups. Unfamiliar gestures and body language could easily lead to misunderstandings. Variations in clothing and decorations symbolized different group identities and norms. Customs and social expectations varied, requiring careful observation during interactions. A lack of established trust was a significant hurdle in intergroup communication. Show cautious first contact, where groups observed each other without immediate violence. Open hands, a universal sign of peaceful intent, initiated many first contacts. Shared food offered a tangible act of generosity and a path to mutual acceptance. Exchanged objects, perhaps tools or ornaments, symbolized peace and shared value. Repeated pointing, combined with gestures, could convey simple directions or locations. Imitation, a powerful learning tool, helped bridge gaps in verbal understanding. Demonstration of skills or tasks could convey complex information without words. Universal emotional expressions, like happiness or fear, transcended linguistic barriers. Exchange between groups may have spread raw materials, tools, and valuable techniques. It also facilitated the sharing of stories, partners, symbols, and crucial route knowledge. Children learned complex communication systems not in classrooms, but through immersion. They learned by listening closely to the spoken words and nuanced tones of adults. Watching faces, observing the subtle shifts in expression, taught emotional cues. Copying gestures, mimicking physical actions, ingrained nonverbal communication. Repeating sounds and words helped children develop their vocal abilities and vocabulary. Participating in daily routines, from gathering to hunting, naturally taught expectations. Play was a critical learning ground, where social roles and communication were rehearsed. Correction from older members refined their understanding of signals and etiquette. Storytelling, a cherished activity, imbued children with cultural knowledge and values. Social reactions, praise or disapproval, shaped their behavioral and communicative norms. Every shared task, from crafting tools to foraging, taught words, gestures, and timing. This continuous learning ensured expectations were mutually understood and shared. Older generations diligently passed on their accumulated knowledge to younger listeners. The group's communication system endured only when each new generation successfully learned it. Archaeology provides tangible proof of past lives, preserving bones, tools, and pigments. Ancient art, ornaments, and camp structures also offer valuable physical evidence. However, it rarely preserves voices, names, jokes, or even arguments heard by ancient fires. Researchers must carefully distinguish physical evidence from imaginative interpretation. Complex artifacts suggest complex communication, but cannot reproduce exact spoken words. Returning to our foggy hunt, the hunter gives a crucial, silent warning gesture. The others stop, notice the impending danger, and safely change their direction. Prehistoric communication was not just one system, but a blend of many methods. Before writing, humans stored knowledge within voices, movements, symbols, and people. Which would you trust most? Spoken words, expressive gestures, vivid stories, or silent symbols?